All right, we're going to go ahead and get started now. Before we begin, I just wanted to briefly mention, if you have a question at any point during this presentation, there is a Q&A button either in the top corner of your screen or the bottom, depending on how you are viewing this webinar. So without further ado, I'll now introduce our President and CEO, Mr. Robert Martin, to kick us off.
Good afternoon and welcome to today's Career College webinar. My name is Bob Martin and I serve as president of the Imagine America Foundation. The foundation is located in Northern Virginia and dedicated to supporting students looking for career college and technical colleges to pursue their post-secondary education. I'm very happy to welcome our guest today in today's webinar, which is going to showcase automotive careers and specifically the educational opportunities offered by Universal Technical Institute and the NASCAR Institute. This is our 10th webinar in this series, and today's showcase campus is NASCAR Institute in Mooresville, North Carolina. For those participants unfamiliar with Imagine America, the foundation has been providing career guidance to graduating high school seniors since 1982. Imagine America has been offering scholarship aid to enrolling high school seniors since 1999. To date, we are proud to have assisted more than 100,000 graduating high school seniors that enrolled in one of our participating colleges. In order to save time and move into today's presentation, I urge all interested parties to go to our website to get additional information on IAF, our scholarship programs, and other related services. Our website address is www.imagine-america.org. Automotive technology programs are some of the most popular programs in our member colleges. Currently, our country faces a very serious shortage in certified automotive technicians. We hear from employers all over the country how they're desperately looking to find qualified employees. Our partner today, as I said, is Universal Technical Institute. UTI, as it's known, is one of the premier automotive education providers in the United States, with campuses located throughout the country. Joining me today to discuss in detail the looming automotive technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet that need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a national recognized expert in this area. He is a frequent speaker and presenter at state, regional, and national career and trade education conventions. With an extensive background in K-12 education, both as a classroom teacher and on the administrative side. Before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let me briefly outline today's agenda. First, we're going to have the webinar will go 30 minutes maximum. That's with questions and answers. Once we finish these remarks, we're going to go directly into today's presentation. Number two, all participants, as Lee said earlier, are urged to submit any questions during this presentation through the chat feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 3:55, I will then present any questions offered by the participants. We will address as many as possible and provide written comments as follow-up to this session. We will have a hard close at 4 o'clock. Now, without any further delay, I'd like to take this pleasure to introduce Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. Make sure I have this here. There we go. I'm going to get started right away into the presentation since we are short on time. The agenda today, we're going to cover 3 topics. First of all, the challenges facing the workforce, followed by opportunities in the automotive industry, and then finally, Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. The first thing we want to look at is the workforce and how it has changed in the past several years. In the 20th century, you can see we were very much an agriculture, manufacturing-based workforce. That has changed in the 21st century as we have moved into a very much service-oriented workforce. You can all attest to that if you own a house, if you own a car, if you own a washing machine. You know how difficult it is to find qualified people that can work on your equipment that you have. In looking at STEM and the relationship of STEM with the workforce, in 2016 there was a survey done with 150,000 Boy Scouts. The survey asked, how many of you would like a skilled trades career? A whopping 3% said, yes, sign me up. I'd love to do something like that. However, the same group was asked, how many of you would like a STEM career? And over 45% said, yes, I would like that. And there lies the disconnect. We have a workforce, we actually have a society that thinks that STEM is a white collar, is white collar, instead of that it is all collars, white and blue collar, and that STEM is universal. You're going to need STEM whether you are a doctor, whether you are an auto technician, or whether you're a plumber. You're going to use STEM in your career. The problem that we have right now is that there's only about 20% of the jobs in the country right now requires a degree, a bachelor's degree. Only 20%. And when you put on top of that, the almost half of the college graduates coming out today, they go into occupations they didn't even need a college degree to begin with, and all that time and all that money was wasted. So what we have in this country right now is not an unemployment problem. We have an underemployment problem. We have a lot of people who are very disgruntled in their jobs right now because they're not doing what they hoped they would be doing. They thought going to college meant automatic success, and that's just not the case right now. There's two ways we call what we, in our presentations that we do, we always refer to the new SMART. Well, I think you need to understand what the old SMART is first. The old SMART was always that, hey, we're going to find the best school that we can get into. That's our first and foremost objective. And then after we get there, we're going to figure out what we want to do. And then once we finally figure out what we want to do, if we ever do that, then we're going to graduate, we're going to walk out the door and go, here I am, world, hire me. And that's just not working today. It's far from that now. The new SMART, the first thing we want to do is find out, what does the student want in the first place? All of you are very familiar with the question we ask all little kids across the country. What do you want to be when you grow up? Why do we stop asking that question? That's the question. Why do we stop asking? As they move in through their middle school and high school years, we stop asking what they want to do. And we should be doing just the opposite. We want to find out, what are they looking for? Then we're going to find out, how are they going to get there? Do they need a college degree? Do they need a certificate? Do they need a diploma? That's the question there. And then once we determine that, then we're going to figure out what school they want to get into. Right now, there's a push, for getting kids right out of high school and going right into work. And there's a problem there with that, because while they get a job, they're not getting the certifications and things that they need. So what we really push is that they need some type of post-secondary education, and then that will help them to get into the career pathway that they've chosen. The rule of 1, 2, 7, if you add 1, 2, and 7 together, you total 10. That means for every 10 careers right now that are available, only one requires an advanced degree. That would be a master's degree or higher. Only 2 require a bachelor's degree. 7 out of the 10 careers available today only require a competency-based credential. In other words, a diploma or a certificate, something that says that they can do this. That's what employers are looking for. One of the things that we have to do is, and that I do all across the country, is I work with educators, parents, and students. Parents are a struggle right now because, parents are still in the old SMART mindset where, you're going to college. That's what you got to do to be successful. And we're trying to change people's mind, and that a STEM career can be more than just going to college. Post-secondary education does not mean university for all. It means simply career readiness, getting the students ready for their career that they're going to do for the rest of their life. And finally, what we have to do is supply employers with what they're looking for, and that is a competency-based credential. That's what they want. The second part of the agenda is opportunities in the automotive industry. Today's cars, as you know, are rolling computers. If you're driving a car that's 2017 or newer, that car is wired for autonomous driving. Now, don't take your hands off the steering wheel, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of cars out there and more coming that offer the autonomous driving option. Honda, for example, offers the Honda Sense, where the car can actually navigate itself down to the road, down the road. They call it right now assist. In other words, the car can't completely drive itself, but it can assist the driver. But we also have lane, the lane change, the blind spots, the performance traction control, the collision alert. We can go on and on with all the things that these cars have inside them. They have Wi-Fi. And who's the culprit in this? It's us, because we want these kind of things. We want these toys. We want these luxuries. But the problem is, who are we going to have that's going to work on these things? That's the issue right now. There are over 1.2 billion vehicles on the road worldwide today. 260 million plus of those vehicles are right here in the United States. People are hanging on to their cars longer than ever. Cars are expensive because of the technology we were just talking about. And so we have to have technicians. If you look around in your neighborhoods where you live, you're seeing fewer and fewer mom and pop shops. You just don't see those anymore because they can't afford to keep up. That's where the dealerships come in. The mom and pop shops do not have the money and the expertise in order to work on these new vehicles. The Department of Labor tells us that by 2026, there will be 1.2 million technician job openings. That's right, 1.2 million. It's amazing, the demand that is out there, and it's already started. It's there. It's seldom do I go somewhere that a service manager doesn't come to me and say, hey, I'm looking for technicians. Can you help me out? If you go to the local dealerships that you have in your towns, you'll notice they're adding bays because they have to meet the demand. Well, when you add bays, you have to add technicians, and that is the struggle right now. The third part of the agenda is Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. Who is UTI? We are the leading provider of technician training in the country. We have over 200,000 graduates in our 53-year history, now a 54-year history. We have 8 programs across 11 major metros. One of the things that we're very proud of is our established TRIP relationships. That's tuition reimbursement incentive program. We have dealerships across the country, Penske Auto Group, AutoNation, for a couple of examples, that offer our graduates help to pay back their student loans, help with tools, with equipment, uniforms, all those type of things. They're willing to help. That's how badly they need technicians. They're willing to help in that. And finally, the fact that we place 4 out of 5 of our graduates in the field, not just a job, but in their chosen field. That's something to be very proud of as far as a placement percentage is concerned. We encourage students to find your passion. We offer 8 different programs: auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR. We also offer our 2 newest programs that we've added, our CNC and our welding programs. We're very proud of the programs that we offer, and we give students an option on what they want to do. When we do an interview with the student, we really press them for what is it that you're passionate about? What is it you really want to do before we place them in that particular program? We have a national presence, and that's important for a couple of reasons. Number one, the fact that we are located all over the country means that you're going to have a campus close to your area. I know the campus we're highlighting right now is our NASCAR Tech in Mooresville, North Carolina. But we also have campuses all across the country, as you can see, and they offer different programs at different settings. It's very common sometimes for a student to go to school in one area and then transfer to another to get the extended training that they want to get. If you're interested in motorcycle or marine, then you would go to Orlando or Phoenix to get that additional training that you want. The other reason, I forgot to mention, the other reason why the national presence is important also is the fact that it gives students an opportunity to work all across the country. They may go to school at NASCAR Tech, but there may be an opening out in Mooresville or out in California, and that would give them an opportunity then to go out there because we have campuses there as well. Our established career pathways, we're very proud of the alliances we have with the manufacturers. We have over 30 alliances with companies like BMW, Ford, GM, Nissan, just to name a few. We're not preparing students to go to work for Jiffy Lube. They could do that if they wanted, but we're preparing students to go to work for these major companies because they offer great salaries, and they also offer great benefits, and gives the students a chance to have a well-established career. One of the things that I talk to educators all the time about is the college scorecard. Many of you probably have not even heard of the college scorecard. It came about in 2013 when President Obama gave his State of the Union address. The college scorecard is important because it gives consumers, meaning parents and students, the opportunity to compare post-secondary schools. As you can see on the example we've given you here, we've compared average annual cost, graduation rate, and salary after attending. And you can see we picked a college or university, we picked a community college, and then we used ourselves as the third option. And as you can see, average annual cost, we are the most expensive, no doubt about it. But then you look at graduation rate, and we have the highest graduation rate of that group right there. More than double, almost triple in some cases too. So, and then you look at salary after attending. So Darton State is 29.4, George Wallace is 24.8, we're 43.7, and that is increased now to 45.2 in the last scorecard that came out. I show you this to show you that you have to look at more than just one option. You can't just look at cost. You have to look at the outcomes. Where is the student going to end up when they graduate from school? As far as comparing us to the different schools, you can see graduation rate. We're right up there with doctoral universities and liberal arts colleges, and well ahead of pace of the two-year public colleges, or what we call the community colleges. We also compared ourselves to the liberal arts schools, the top schools across the country, which many of them are way more expensive than what we are. And you can see we're in the top 10 and median earnings out of those schools. So we're very proud of that. One of the things that we really highlight are our graduates and the graduate success stories that we have across the country. We make every effort to get students out to events that we have so they can share what they did, how they were able to get there. But you're looking at 3 people there of many, many that we have that are hard workers. This just wasn't handed to them. They had to earn it. So we express that very strongly with students that we're not going to just give you a spot. You've got to earn it. You've got to be able to put in the time and the effort to make this happen. We're eager to help students financially. We are Title IV funded, so that means we do accept FAFSA for financial aid for those who are eligible. We also offer over $15 million in scholarships. We offer housing grants, institutional grants. Of course, I talked about the trip partnerships. And then we have third-party programs that will help in emergency expenses that may come up while they're in school. You're the catalyst out there. That's why we're doing these webinars, and I go all across the country speaking to educators. High school students need to understand the rule of 1-2-7. They need to understand the college scorecard. They need to know what career readiness is, what STEM is about, and you all are out there with those students. What we like to do is we want to offer your support so that you can make this happen in your schools. Everything we offer is free. We do presentations in schools. We do events at the campuses all the time, open houses and things of that nature. So we're here to support you. We're on Snapchat. Instagram, Facebook. We're all over there as well. So, and then I'll finish up with my contact information. This is my phone number. This is my email address. I invite you to reach out to me if you have comments or questions, concerns of any type. If you have students that may be interested in UTI, please reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you out any way I can. So I hope you picked up some nuggets from this presentation. I'll turn it back over.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Coyle. I appreciate very much your devoting the time and your energy to this, and your passion comes through. We're going to look at questions now, and while we're waiting for them to come up, we did get one, and the first one that comes in. Could you speak a little bit to the uniqueness of the NASCAR program and the NASCAR campus? Because we have talked about Universal Technical Institute.
Well, the NASCAR Tech campus, we are the only school that has an alliance with NASCAR, and this creates a special opportunity. There's only one NASCAR Tech in the world, and so it provides students an opportunity if they have a passion for racing or high performance and want to get into that industry. People ask me all the time, "Can you really get into racing?" And I answer the same all the time: yes, you can. As long as you're willing to put in the time and the effort and make the connections that you need, yes, you can do that. But we also offer other programs there besides just NASCAR, but we really push students into that, into the racing industry. In Mooresville, North Carolina, 90% of the race teams are right there. So we immerse them into the racing field. And if you want to find out more about NASCAR Tech and how we operate, we have an open house coming up there on Saturday, March the 9th at 9 a.m. So by all means, you're welcome to come attend.
You must be clairvoyant. That was the second inquiry, which is open houses. The third one has to do with how would you compare UTI costs to attending a community college or a technical school that may have a similar or somewhat similar program of study?
Well, first of all, the community colleges will not have a similar program that we have, as we have more licenses with manufacturers than any other school out there. They will maybe have one or two, but also if you go visit each one, you can see the difference readily as well. But as far as costs, we're going to be more expensive than the community colleges because we offer so much more to the students, more experiences. They're going to get to work on the latest and greatest that's out there. I mean, we change our inventory constantly, whereas the community colleges just can't afford to do that. But when you look at costs, you have to look at total costs. And then you have to look at return on your investment, because you may come to community college and get in for $4,000 or $5,000 as opposed to UTI, where you'll spend $25,000 or $30,000, and you say, wow. But when you look at the outcomes, you look at the graduation rates, you look at the salaries at the end, then you can see there's a huge difference. And so you have to look at the total picture, not just the tuition costs. Okay.
Those were the three inquiries that we had. We appreciate those people who submitted them. We hope we answered it. By way of closing, let me explain to you that we have recorded this particular session along with the other ones, and anyone who's interested can go to our website, www.imagine-america.org, and you'll be able to download and listen to any one of the 10 sessions that we've already recorded so far, along with the one today. We will be sending out that recording to all of the invitees for this session, and that will be done within the next 24 to 48 hours. Before closing, I would like to thank each and every one of the participants for taking time out of their very busy schedules to join us, Dr. Coyle and myself, today to go over this really important presentation on Universal Technical Institute and NASCAR Institute. I'd like to thank Dr. Coyle for sharing, as he has, both his passion and his knowledge in this area, and for doing today's presentation, and to encourage any of the participants that want to contact him directly. He is very approachable. On behalf of Imagine America Foundation, Lee Doubleday, and myself, we'd like to thank you again and say goodbye. We hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.